And I've heard the knock that the younger guys didn't get into the flow. Okay, right? Haven't
Right.
you?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Tell me how Hogan could have worked with those guys.
Ooh, I don't know.
Tell me.
So I guess it would have to been when Hogan was feuding with Billy Kidman. If Eddie was still there, I would have somehow put Eddie in a feud with him. I don't know how you built a feud, but I
But
mean, at
what
that
I'm
point,
saying is that Billy Kidman thing
horrible.
was not a rating getter, right?
No, no, it's horrible.
Were the matches good?
I didn't like him. No,
How would those guys who could move work with Hogan?
I guess they could bump around for him, but it would have to be a certain dynamic. Yeah,
Well, if they bumped around for him, wouldn't they be
jobbers, kinda. Yeah, I guess in a way.
kind of? Would they show that they're very small?
Well, that too. They would look very small against Hogan. Look how small Kid. I mean, Kidman's pretty small anyway, but he looked like a midget compared to Hogan. Jeez.
So where I'm going with this, and when they first came in, they were going to have resistance. But what do you think would a guy that have crave control would have done to them?
Oh, he's squashing those guys big time.
They were going to get there because they were great performers. But being young, you want it now.
Yep.
Okay, how would they have worked with Nash?
It's gonna have to be that little man stuff like Mysterio. Just go after his legs the whole time and chop him down, chop down the tree. I guess.
Okay, so if they all do that, does Nash suffer?
Well, of course he's gonna look like, hey, I'm way bigger than this guy. Cosmetically, it looks like I should squash this guy with my boot.
So does Nash suffer?
Yes.
So the hardest thing you got is the NWO. Do not become a wrestling fan when you're booking.
Hmm.
You know what to me is a good worker?
Who?
A guy that puts an ass every 16 inches.
So Hogan's the greatest worker of all time.
Well, maybe not the greatest of all times, but everybody, we're symbiotic relationships are very important. Is we live to make the unit whole. It's like a beehive. You can't. And what would you have done with those guys who were stealing the show every time they were together? And you put Ray and Hoovy and the Ultimate Dragon and the rest of the guys together, right?
Yep.
What would those other guys been worth to you once they got involved with the cruiserweights?
Maybe not as much.
Would they have been able to hold off the whole WCW like they did?
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yep. But I do think Hogan could have had good matches with Benoit and Eddie a little bit later on, not early on in the NWO, but like later on. Because I mean, we've seen Benoit have good matches with Sid and
Yeah,
guys like that. So.
later on. But the thing was, they should have been shoved right away. No, no. Because the other thing is, you are paying some guys $2 million and a guy that's making 200,000, and the guy with $2 million is going to go to the boss. Who are you going to protect?
Got to protect the guy making the most money, the
It's a
investment.
lot more intricate than people think.
Yep.
If it was on wrestling itself and not charisma, yeah. If it's on a combination of both, some of them, when they first came in, weren't great talkers. All right?
No, definitely not good talkers when they first came in. No.
Okay, and later on, some of them didn't improve that much.
No. Eddie did, of course, but not most of the guys. Yeah.
Eddie was the exception to the rule.
Yep.
What do people watch wrestling for. Violence in interviews.
Yep. Male soap opera with violence. Yeah. Yep.
So if you can't do the View, you got to work that much harder. And if you have to work that much harder, you have to show your compadres that you are exceptional, and they did that. But you can't do that overnight.